wherever I set the bar, my kids will raise it, you know, every single time. TeachOn. I've considered being quite the anarchist and a revolutionist, perhaps, seeing all the things that I feel need to change in education, but I don't believe that stepping away from it is going to fulfill the need in me that was my initial reason to join the profession. I was fresh out of teacher school, out of my undergrad degree, where I was receiving all this multicultural education and learning about cooperative groups. And I was so excited. And I walked into my first classroom, and it was a sea of lily white kids. And, you know, they were lined up in their little rows, and I was going to shake this up. But the most fascinating thing about that classroom was in the back of the room were 6 boxes, unopened cartons that said Dell on the outside. And on the outer perimeter of my room, there were some tables and some odd looking outlets on the wall. And I went off on my merry way and began to teach. And September passed, and the boxes were still in the room. And then October passed, and the boxes were still in the room. And I happened to mention it to my daughter, who was a geek, a computer science major at the time. And you know, I've got these computers are in the back of the room, and I don't know why they're just sitting there, and I don't really know what I'll do with them, but, you know, it's kind of frustrating. And she said, well, why don't you just set them up? I said, I don't know how to set them up. And she said, Mom, just have the kids do it. Now, these were 3rd graders, okay? So what do I know? I'm using a word processor at the time. So in I walk the next day, and I open the boxes, and I lift the computers up onto the tables, and I say to the kids, we're going to set these up. Come on, set these up. And the kids took out the schematic and looked, and everything was color-coded, and in 20 minutes we were on computers, on the internet, and I immediately said, okay, so this is going to be one of my truisms. Let the kids do it. Let the kids step up. Give the kids permission. And don't be afraid. What I've realized is to create those magical moments where, as I put it, the little hairs in the back of your neck go up. There's got to be that interchange, that exchange, those moments when you're going back and forth and feeding each other's curiosity and passion. Give the students the opportunity and get in there and do it with them. So it's okay to learn next to them. You don't have to be the expert. It's okay for you to say, I don't know, let's find out. How are we going to do this? Let's figure it out. It's okay for you to say, here's what I need you to know, and I'm not quite sure how to teach it to you. How would you like to learn it? What are some ways that would work? If you're discouraged, and if you're feeling like, I can't get ahead of this, I can't get anything accomplished with the way things are right now, then here's what I would say for you to do. Speak to your colleagues. There are so many resources right in your building beyond the scope of your school. Your professional learning network is critical for feeding you inspiration, feeding you new ideas. If you're not on Twitter, you need to be. If you're not, believe it or not, on Facebook, you need to be. And you can be very professional on Facebook. You need to have an online network of teachers that you design and you select. Don't just listen to the choir. Don't just listen to people who subscribe to the same things you subscribe to. Broaden your horizons. Entertain the opposing viewpoint. You might learn something brilliant from it. It's really a daily promise. It's a daily commitment. It's a sacred promise where you say, today I will do what's best for my kids. Sometimes you have to do that within constraints that are almost stifling, almost suffocating, and sometimes you can just close your door and make your magic. And that's what we have to hold on to.